going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. This is ASA Studio. Welcome back to Photoshop. Alright, so what if I tell you not all image or not all photos require frequency, separation, and so many other adjustments in blending colors? Let me show you how hue and saturation adjustment layer work. Let's grab one. I'm going to grab hue and saturation adjustment layer, and let me quickly explain it. Now take a look at the photo. You see different color variation. Let me zoom in. The top right and also down below our cheek right there, they are red compared to what's in the middle beneath our nose, under our cheek. We have this white kind of real skin, so it looks more like she have burns or rashes all over her face. And also check the background and her hair. Everything just look the same or similar. So let me tell you what the hue and saturation does. The hue and saturation adjustment layer has the ability to, make this color look like one. Makes this, it can make the red color of the face look like this side of her face, this white side of her face, if you understand how it works. Okay, so now I'm going to explain it. Now, this master channel, we have different channel. We have the master. The master actually affects all the colors. We have the green. It affects everything on this drop down. So if I choose the master, anything I adjust is adjusting all the channel. If I increase the saturation, it's increasing the saturation of the red, yellow, green, cyan, and blues. If I decrease the lightness of the master, it's decreasing all the red, blue, and magenta of the channel. But there is one way to work with it. Now, if you check the photo, we have red, we have yellow, that is on this drop down. It means all these colors are present in the photo. But if I choose the red, it's going to select a range here. If I choose the yellow, it's going to select a range under the yellow. If I choose the blues, it's going to select a range under the blues. So meaning wherever the blues are located in the photo, it's going to select that range. Now let's go to the magenta. It's selected this place. Let's see what happens. If I increase the saturation and decrease the saturation, you see nothing is happening. If I increase the hue, nothing is happening. Now let's go to the red. If I increase and increase the hue, you see that the photo is actually changing. It simply means there are a lot of red in the image. Let's make it 0 and go to the yellows. If I increase the hue, you see where the yellow lies in the image. Now let's make it 0. Let's go to the greens. You see nothing is going to happen because there are no greens in the image. So when it comes to skin tones, it's usually the red and the yellows. So if you want to adjust any skin tones, it's yellow and red. Sometimes you see the orange. The cyan is not actually going to change because there are no cyan in the photo, but there might be a little bit cyan of which you can see it. So now let me show you another quick way. Let's reset the hue and saturation. The easiest way to get it, I'm only explaining hue and saturation. I don't want to go ahead and select any other adjustment layer. So now let's do it. Now I'm going to pick this hand slider and I'm going to pick where I want to correct. Let's say I want to remove this red. So if I select, it's automatically going to go to the red channel, which is this one. So if I select any other places that is yellow, let me show you another trick. Let's put it at master. Let's select this part of our eyes, and it's going to select the red. So it simply means it's selecting the red. There are some times when you select, it's going to select the yellow. Like I said, there are so many red. Now, the red channel only affects this side, because if I increase the hue, it's affecting everywhere. You can see that the hue has changed everything. Now, how do we select just that range alone? Just this range, the range where we want to correct. Let me zoom in. I just want to correct this top part of our face, this side. So how do we select just that range so that we can adjust it so it looks like this place? I'm going to teach you how to do that right away. So the easiest way to do it is either you go to the red channel directly if you already know the color, or you go to the yellow channel directly if you know the color. But in this case, I'm just going to go to the red. But if you don't know the color, just click on master, select this hand tool, and click the color you want to correct. In this case, we want to correct the red color. Let me choose it from this side. Now it's going to select the red channel automatically, and it's going to bring out this slider. So what are you going to use this slider to do? This is what you're going to use it to do. You're going to increase the hue and make sure there's different colors. Now once you sight the different color, let me show you what I mean. You see this place is kind of bluish, and this place is white, brighter. You see the top right, yeah, it's kind of having some green, and here we have the light blue, and here we just have just white. So it's telling you that there are different colors, and the model has different color. The skin color is not the same, it's not uniform. So that's why you have this different color you see all over our body. Now you can actually make it one. How are you going to make it one? Is to increase the slider to select the range, because there are some range that are in between red and yellow, yellow and green, of which the channel is not just going to give you. So you have to find it through using this slider. So let's go ahead and move the slider till we have just the red alone. So see what the slider does. So now you're going to select where you see just the red. So I'm going to increase it up. Let me zoom in, and you can take it all the way back and take it forward. You can take this up and take this backward. So let's see the sweet spot for it. So let's take a zoom, let's take a look at it. Now I've adjusted the slider, and also this one I've adjusted it, and I caught all the red in the image, so you can see before and then the after. Now I'm going to make this 0. Now see what's going to happen as I push the hue just a bit. Now I'm going to make it look more. Let's see. Now taking it back is going to make it look pink, and taking it forward is going to make the skin uniform. You can imagine the before where it looks red, and now where it looks yellow in color. Now there are some things you also need to note. You see that range that is being selected, it's sometimes you could decrease the saturation or increase the lightness so that it looks like this white part. Now this side is red and is darker than this side, so you increase the lightness. This side is also more saturated. The cheek is saturated than the color beneath the eyes, meaning you need to desaturate. I don't know if you understand the concept. So now on the red, if I desaturate, see what happens. You can see that it's getting closer to the light part. If I increase the lightness, you see how it's looking the same with the color of our face. So that's how to use the slider. Now once you do it a little bit, you have to layer it for you to get the perfect one. If I go to the yellows, and let's see where the yellow is. So this is where the yellow is. You can see some yellows on our face. So the same thing, I'm going to make it 0, and then we can adjust. Let's see where. So I'm going to take it back to make the yellow look like the red, because if I take it forward, it's going to look more yellow. So you take it backwards to make it look like the red, and then you can also desaturate it just the same you did with the red and increase the brightness. Okay, so now that we have this first step, I'm going to do with extreme so you can see the difference. Let's zoom out. So compare it to before where we have red, and compare this now. Okay, so let's continue. I'm going to add one more. First of all, let's erase it from the lips. Let me zoom in and see, so you can see the lips. So I'm going to erase it from the lips like this. Okay, Ctrl Z. Let's make the brush less add, and let's erase it from the lips. Make it small and do the same. So something like this. All right, so I'm going to leave it like that. We could as well get some red back from the eyelashes. So that's not where our focus is. Our focus is on the hue and saturation. So grab another one. Let's grab the hue and saturation again, because that's what we're talking about. And I'm going to pick the end tool, and I'm going to select this part. So let's see, increase, and then let's get the sweet spot for just that place alone, so you can see what I'm talking about. All right, so I just cut the place. I'm going to leave it like this, and I'm going to adjust it again. So let's make it, now you can see that I selected yellow when I click on that place. The first one was red, and now it's yellow, it's selecting, it's seen. So we could expand it. Let's give it some more expansion. So something like this should be fine. All right, so now that we have that, let's make it 0, and let's see how we could make it look more like the other ones. So making it look white, no, we're planning on removing. Let's decrease the saturation. Okay, so now let's increase. Okay, so let's take up the lightness a bit. All right, so now I will leave it like this. I'm going to group the two and show you the difference. So this is the before, and then this is the after. So notice how we didn't even use frequency separation, but we actually blend the channel, blend the skin tones and make it uniform even before frequency separation. And now we can do our frequency separation and then introduce back the colors of the skin. So what I mean is we can now perform our frequency separation and then go ahead and introduce some colors like the orange and the yellows, and then we could, you know, make things look beautiful. So this is what I just want to show you concerning the hue and saturation slider. So let me do a quick recap, like the hue and saturation. Now the hue and saturation, I'm not talking about the colorize this time around. I'm just talking about these 3 slider and the channels you see right here. All right, so if you actually understood the power of the hue and saturation, you can actually make adjustments and change color to the way you want it. So it's very easy and very useful in Photoshop. I'm just going to finish up this photo and then get back to the channel on the result. So let me quickly finish up with frequency separation. All right, so I just finished the frequency separation, and this is what we got from here to here. So that's how you can make. Okay, I feel like we didn't actually retouch the lips, so I'm just gonna quickly do the lips. Go to the color, then pick this color, the mixer tool brush, and then we could, you know, make it blend the colors together. All right, so like this, and then we can grab this one, go grab this one, and then hold down Alt and select a very smooth part, you know, just make it retouch like that. All right, so now that we have that, let's give it some dimension. All right, so we could create a stem visible layer, and at the end of the day, go to camera raw filter and make things look more okay. So here we are in the camera raw filter. Same thing, like I said, the hue saturation adjustment layer. So I'm going to go to the color mixer, and this place we can alter a lot. So let's go. I want to adjust the yellow, because the orange there controls a lot. So I want to make it look more like this white part. So we could go to the luminance, and then we can increase the luminance of the yellow, and it's actually going to make the image look a little bit flat, but I just want to avoid that. So let's take it up a little bit. Go to the saturation, decrease the saturation of the yellow. So I'm just showing you how to, manipulate the hue and saturation adjustment. I'm going to make the red look more like the red, which is our lips. Go to the saturation, increase the saturation to make it pop out the more. So this is where you start using so just try and make things look okay. So now I'm going to increase the saturation of the orange, because I increase the luminosity, the luminance of the orange. So I'm going to leave it like this, and as you can see, it's getting more uniform. All right, so for the yellows, let's increase the saturation as well, and let's go to the saturation back. We can find some blues in the eyes. If not, we're just gonna leave it, increase the saturation of those. if there be any color there, of which I know there are colors. I'm going to take this back and backward. So one important thing we need to do to finish up is to go to the curve. So let's add some dimension, take it up. I'm going to take it up and then take this one down just to create some dimension. Then close it, go to the basic tab. For the white, let's bring it down a bit. Let's bring down the white, and we could also bring down the highlight because the image is too bright, so something like this. And for the shadows, I'm going to leave it. For the blacks, let's take it down. Let's take the blacks down to give it more definition, and we can increase the texture. So okay, so since that's done, let's see how we can use the white balance. All right, so I just used the white balance and I got this white, very white image. We'll go to the calibration, and I like taking it forward and then taking this backward, and the green, finding the sweet spot. Let's leave it at +3 or +1. All right, so let's see before, for it, and after. So that's just the same. All right, I'm going to hit OK on the keyboard, and now we have this. So this is the power of HUE and saturation. As you can see, you can either use the HUE and saturation adjustment layer here, or you go to camera raw filter and use the more advanced HUE and saturation adjustment. And this is the power of HUE and saturation, and this is how to use it. So quickly, let's check our before and then our after. I'm going to group all this together, and then I'm going to show you this is our before, and then this is our after. This is our before, and then this is our after. If you learned something from this video, let me know in the comment section. If you are new to the channel, kindly subscribe. See you in our next video. Thank you. Once again, this is HSL Studio.